Good evening. It's Saturday, the 30th of May. You're tuned in to our 6 p.m. newscast coming to you from Arirang's news centre in Seoul. It's great to have you with us. I'm Mark Broome. And we start with the health scare that has Korea on edge. The nation's health ministry says the number of confirmed cases of Middle East Respiratory Syndrome has now risen to 13. The latest patient is the husband of the 12th patient who contracted the virus. With the number of cases creeping up, fingers are being pointed at the government for its slow response and lack of clear-cut measures to prevent further transmissions. The health ministry says it will seek heavy punishment against people spreading false information about the MERS virus, saying it could escalate fears to an unnecessarily high level. Meanwhile, Chinese health authorities have reportedly decided to quarantine more than 55 people who have been in contact with a confirmed Korean patient who flew to China earlier this week. Reports out of China say the Korean patient is suffering from a very high fever and pneumonia. A matter of days after the US government told us a live anthrax sample was mistakenly sent to an American airbase in South Korea, the Pentagon has now admitted that live anthrax may have been shipped to a lab in Australia in 2008. Now, the details of the Australian case are sketchy, but in light of the embarrassing revelations, the US military has ordered a sweeping review of practices meant to inactivate the deadly bacteria. The US Defense Department continues to insist there is no known risk to the general public and health risks due to exposure were very low. But scores of US politicians are demanding the Pentagon ensure the material is handled in a more responsible way to prevent similar incidents from occurring in the future. The defence chiefs of 26 nations, including South Korea, are in Singapore for the annual Asia Security Summit, or as it's commonly known, the Shangri-La Dialogue, to discuss issues concerning regional security. South Korea's Defence Minister Han Min-gu and his Japanese counterpart Gen Nakatani are holding talks on the sidelines of the summit on this Saturday. Topping their agenda are ways to deter North Korea's nuclear and missile threats and the recent revision of the US-Japan defence guidelines, a contentious issue given Japan's past aggressions towards Korea. The top defence officials of South Korea, the US and Japan will hold trilateral talks on this Saturday as well, and Minister Han will sit down with his Chinese counterpart one-on-one on Sunday. Again, North Korea is likely to be a major focus of those talks, especially after Pyongyang's recent claim that it successfully test-fired a submarine-launched ballistic missile. US Senator John McCain has called on South Korea and the United States to seriously consider deploying an advanced US missile defense system to the Korean peninsula to counter the growing nuclear and missile threat posed by North Korea. Speaking at a press conference on Saturday on the sidelines of the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore, McCain said that in light of Pyongyang's recent advancements in missile technology, the THAAD system is an effective and excellent deterrent. However, McCain, who also serves as the US Senate Armed Services Committee chairman, stressed there's still a way to go before any decision on the issue can be made. McCain is just the latest in a string of high-profile American political and military leaders who've been promoting the merits of deploying THAAD, or as it's otherwise known, Terminal High-Altitude Area Defense, to South Korea. Now, it has emerged the United States tried but failed to sabotage North Korea's nuclear program with the Stuxnet computer virus 5 years ago. People familiar with the covert operation have told Reuters the digital weapon developed and deployed by the US and Israel to knock out Iranian nuclear centrifuges in 2009 and 2010 had a sister piece of malware that was designed to bring down Pyongyang's program as well. Now, citing the unnamed sources, Reuters reports the virus is designed to activate once it came across Korean language settings on affected machines, but the plans crumbled when the agents could not access the computers running the North's nuclear weapons program. The source said North Korea's wall of secrecy and the extreme isolation of its communications systems made the core systems impossible to locate. The US National Security Agency, which is claimed to have run this campaign, declined to comment on the story. Now, nearly 130 years ago today, A king of the Joseon dynasty here in Korea lit up his palace with electric lights for the very first time. And this week, the Heritage Agency here discovered the exact location of the electric plant, Korea's first, that provided that power. Our Park Se-young has this report.
This is the site of Korea's first power plant in operation 128 years ago, but it's not where archaeologists expected to find it. Archival records point to Koncheongung, the king's quarters inside Gyeongbokgung Palace, where a marker indicates the birthplace of electricity in Korea. But after a year-long excavation, the National Research Institute of Cultural Heritage found that it's actually located south of Hwangwonji Lake, also on palace grounds.
If the plant was located near the marker, it would have generated a lot of noise for the king. The newly discovered location is further south, which means less noise would have made it to the residents.
King Gojong of the Joseon dynasty brought electricity to the palace in the late 19th century. After 11 envoys to the United States brought word of a new technology, he signed a contract with the Edison Illuminating Company in 1884. Korea's first power plant was completed in 3 years and lit up a series of street lamps and the king's chambers. The system was unstable in the early days and the lights would lose power frequently. Experts say the plant is a symbol of King Gojong's strong will to actively and at times prematurely incorporate Western culture. Park Se-young, Arirang News.
Now, unless you've been living under a rock for the past week or so, you will have heard about the corruption scandal involving the world's governing body of football. But the crisis was not enough to stop Sepp Blatter being re-elected for a fifth term as FIFA president. Following a week that has seen 7 FIFA officials arrested in Switzerland and 18 people connected to football indicted on corruption, bribery and racketeering charges by the US Justice Department, Blatter saw off the challenge from Prince Ali bin Al Hussein of Jordan. Now, Blatter won the first election round by 133 votes to 73, after which Prince Ali decided to pull out of the running. Meanwhile, a US Internal Revenue official has told the New York Times that he's fairly confident there will be another round of indictments in the ongoing probe into corruption at FIFA. The Italian Coast Guard says it has rescued more than 3,300 migrants sailing across the Mediterranean Sea. Officials say SOS calls were made from 17 boats on Friday and a number of rescue operations are ongoing as we speak. Now, despite the thousands of lives saved, the Italian Navy says 17 bodies were found on 3 rickety vessels, but it's not yet known how they died. The operations were led by the Italian Coast Guard with the help of Italian, German and Irish naval ships under the control of the European Union's Frontex border agency. Back here in Korea, and some 1,500 students from 95 countries and diplomatic delegations from 34 nations are in Korea's southeastern city of Gyeongju to participate in the Silk Road International Student Festival. The organisers say the festival, which kicked off on Saturday, is a chance to promote unity through the sharing of different cultures. Scores of performances are being held, including a traditional fashion show and a multicultural cooking competition. International students taking part are camping at a local park during the festival period. The 2-day festival is a promotional event ahead of the Gyeongju World Culture Expo that will open in August. Smartware technology is fast becoming a part of our everyday lives, but often these devices are too bulky to wear for any extended period of time. However, some Korean researchers believe they've created a game changer with a new fibre that could take smart wearables to the next level. Won Ji-hyun has this report.
People with hearing or speech disabilities use sign language to communicate. The problem is, not everyone can understand them. With a pair of smart gloves, hand gestures are easily translated on screen. The secret is in the glove's fiber sensors, which can detect finger motions used in sign language. With growing demand for such wearable devices, Korean scientists have found a way to improve the sensors' interaction with the human body. Researchers at Yonsei University have developed a new elastic fiber for smart sensors that can stretch by more than 3 times its normal size without losing conductivity. Their study showed it's also extremely durable, functioning even after being stretched over 1,000 times. The scientists have combined the fiber's flexible polymer with silver nanowire to create what they call an advanced functional material.
Every time you bend your fingers, the glove stretches by about 40%. But these elastic fiber sensors can still detect those hand gestures without a problem.
Since the elastic sensors are designed like a thread, it can easily be integrated on wearable devices. Scientists say it could open new doors to technological developments in other fields, such as motion capture and medicine. The study was posted on the Advanced Functional Materials website last month. Won Ji-hyun, Arirang News.
Finally, leaving you with the weekend weather, and as you will have noticed if you're watching in Korea, the searing heat wave was replaced today with much cooler temperatures and a band of rain that swept across most of the central region this afternoon. But the good news is that if you have plans on Sunday, we have a dry day in store with daytime highs in the high 20s to low 30s nationwide, and we're going to see similar sunny and very warm weather for the entirety of next week as well. With that, let's take a look at the weather around the world. Well, that's all we have for now. Do enjoy the rest of your Saturday, wherever you're tuning in from, and stay tuned to Arirang. We'll be back with our next newscast at 10 p.m. Korea time. Till then, goodbye.